Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install a new button set in your Xbox One controller. This is for the model 1697. You should be able to see the model number located right here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started on this, see how quickly we can get this done. The first step is we're going to need to be removing 5 screws. To access some of these screws, you're going to have to pop off your side rails. It's going to be this section here on your controller. There is one screw in the center behind the label. When you put a hole in your label to remove this screw or take any screws out, you're actually voiding the warranty, so be aware of that. If you're modding your controller, most likely you want to void your warranty anyways. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use a tool. I'm going to use the T8 screwdriver to just give us a little bit of a nudge to get it out. It makes it a lot easier. Then I'll try it with my hand. I'll do it to both sides. A little bit of a nudge. Alright. Start taking out some screws here. And I will probably fast forward through some of this. That way you don't have to watch the long process of somebody taking out screws. It can get kind of boring. You guys know how to do that. And the last one, the 5th screw. Okay, remove your faceplate. It's the first one that comes off the front, so you can access your internal guts. You can remove the back. You can probably grab the sides or somewhere and wiggle it loose until it comes off there. Okay, these rumble packs, I've already had this controller open and these are disconnected. Some of you may know how to solder and you may know how to put these back on the board. If you do, that's great. If not, we will be posting a new video on Facebook or YouTube showing the process of soldering the stuff back on. I am not going to do it in this video because it'll just be a long video. But make sure to check our Facebook and our YouTube page to locate these, the soldering video. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take these rumble packs out so they're not in my way. They are disconnected. But I'll be putting these back in the controller, but they're not going to serve a purpose right now. I also have another broken wire right here. This is for the upper rumble pack. There are rumble packs inside of these triggers here. They're down inside there, and they actually vibrate the trigger. That's what this wire is for. I do need to fix one of them, and I will do that. Actually, I'm going to have to fix the on this side as well, apparently. But I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to show you exactly where to solder them on the board. I'm going to show you how to clean the solder off the board. Some fun stuff coming your way. Okay, so let's see what I want to do first on this. Let's see. Let's go ahead and remove the guide surround and the bumpers. You can go ahead and lift up on that. You have to pry up on it, and you kind of have to pry this out a little bit. It's not easy to get out. You may have to push your triggers down just to make it come out a little easier. Don't want it to get stuck on anything. And it will pop out just like that. I'll set this to the side. This button here will lift straight out. Just pull it out. We'll go ahead and take our thumbsticks off. They lift right off. Take that off. And let's get started with the D-pad. Now, I want to remove this first. That way it's out of the way. It's one less thing to do later. I'm going to take a smaller tool and pry up on the metal plating right here. There's a little lip. You can pry up on it. Get it off the plastic, and it'll lift right up. Now it's off there. Now the D-pad is accessible, and you just replace it with the button you're going to put in. So here's what we're going to be putting in. It's a white one. So we'll take this one off. I'm going to sit this one down so that it lines up correctly. Now you can see how this one's designed. Let me hold it in my hand here. It's got a notch on this side, a notch on this side, a notch on this side, and it's got a weird shape on this side. This is the bottom, the down. So sit it on there. Then to put this back on, just start from this end, make sure it grabs on the bottom, and then just snap it down. That's it. It's done, and it'll work. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the triggers. There are 2 screws in the triggers, one towards the top and one towards the bottom on the other side. You have to unscrew those with your T6 screwdriver to get those triggers off there, or to replace them with the other one. And if you drop a screw, most likely it's going to be around this area, because there is a magnet on that motor that'll grab that screw. So if you're looking for your screw, you can't find it, most likely it's stuck to it somewhere. Okay, we got that one off. That's the right trigger. Set it to the side. We'll take our new one, put it on. We'll hold it in place. Put the screw on there. Screw it down. Do the same with the other one. I'll actually put it in the screwdriver, make it a little easier. If the magnet doesn't pull it off, let's just try to stick it in the hole. The way a normal person would do it. Just put it right in there. Screw this one down. Well, it didn't go in the hole correctly. There it goes. Make sure these are firmly screwed down so they don't come loose or they're not sticking up a little bit. We're going to do this other side. Take the screw out. And the other screw out. Take that one off and get the other one, the left trigger. Sit it on there. Screw it into place. Make sure it's firmly on there. This one. There's our trigger buttons. Alright, now we have to access the other buttons. To do that, there's 2 screws down by where the rumble packs were, one on this side, one on this side. You need to remove those with a T6 screwdriver. Now, if you can manage to pull these boards, separate these boards without taking your rumble packs apart and needing to resolder stuff, then that's great. That's awesome. It's less work to do. But if not, you're going to have to figure out a way to reposition your board and your wires. So just go ahead and remove the tape off the front of it. There should be tape holding your wires on. It's probably going to be yellow or blue or some color. And then you can pull your wires up gently pull them up. Do not force these. And move them around so that you can, so you have a little bit more room to play around with it. All right, so now the board is going to lift out. It's going to, you have to pry it up a little bit. It's actually, let me actually show you. There's a connector that it plugs into right here. Let me get over here. There's one right here, and there's one right here. These white parts plug into it. When we put this together, we have to make sure that those are firmly pressed together. This piece, your audio jack, does come out. Set that to the side because you will need that. Okay, the bottom board, we need to remove completely to get to the buttons. Maybe if you don't have your ReassemblyPacks out, you may be able to just lift this up and then lift this one up and access it. The ReassemblyPacks are out on this one, so I'm going to be able to access it a lot quicker and a lot easier. And there's 3 screws on them. I think these screws are in the right place. I put these on earlier, but this was already apart whenever I put it together. So I'm not too sure if these are the right screw holes. I'm pretty sure they are. It's the 3 in the front and the top middle. All right, so this will just lift right out once you get those 3 screws off. Comes right off. If these little white things come off, wait to put them back on until after you put this, screw this board back onto the shell. Like that one just came off. I'll show you actually. I'll pull those off there. Set those to the side and I'll show you. There's a reason why you want to wait. If not, then every time you try to screw that board on, these little rubber things are going to fall off and you're going to fight with it. So I'm going to show you another way to do that without having to fight with it. Okay, we're going to lift up this rubber pad and we're going to pop out our buttons. We just turn it upside down, let them all fall out. All these buttons we're not going to use except the Xbox button. So we're going to put that one back in. And grab our new buttons over here. We'll start inserting these. These are grooved, so they only fit in a specific place. Make sure they drop down completely where they belong. Don't let them stick up a little. If you have to, spin them with your finger to get them to drop down. But every one of these have their own specific place to fit in. So one of the buttons didn't come out. Let's pull that one out of there. There we go. Okay, this one is going to go in here, I believe. Then this one will go over here. And the last one is going to go on the top. Just make sure they drop down in there. Once you get your bumpers down in there, go ahead and replace your pad. Put it right back the way you took it off. Put it right back on there. Make sure the black part with little black circles are facing upwards. And the other side is down. Technically, with this controller, there's only one way it can go because of this lip over here. But these connectors, these black pieces, is what makes connection to the circuit board. Okay, so we got that done. We're going to go ahead and install this back on. The buttons are now all replaced except for the thumbsticks and the bumpers. We're going to go ahead and sit this back in there. Okay, we're going to screw her down. T6 screwdriver. The difference between the T6 and the T8 I'll show you in 1 minute. One of them is actually, they're both, I guess you could say a star bit or something of that nature, but one of them is actually a security screwdriver. And there's a reason why you have to have the T8. It will not, I mean, you won't be able to get I guess you could get the screws out without the T8, but you're going to ruin the screw or strip it or something. It's gonna be a pain. Bad things happen if you don't use the right tools. Let's show you the difference here real quick. This is a screw for the back case. Okay, if I can get a good shot on this, if I can get the camera to focus, which is not wanting to cooperate with me right now. There we go. A little bit. In the dead center of this, there's a little nub sticking up in the middle. And the difference between these screwdrivers, the T6 and the T8, is this is the T6. It's kind of flat on the end. All right, you can kind of see that. And this is the T8. You can see the difference. See the hole at the end of this one? That's the security screwdriver. It's needed to release the shell. Try not to mix these up. Try not to lose them, because if you ever do another build, you're going to need them. At least till they change the screws on us and make us purchase a new screwdriver. Okay, now that we got that done, we'll go ahead and start putting this back together. And yes, we'll get to this in a second. The rubber things I took off, I did say I would explain it. Okay, do not forget your audio jack, your connectors, the copper wires go up towards the top board. Sit that down in there. Well, I didn't mean to sit it way down in there. Sit that down in there like that. Make sure it's where it belongs. Before you put the other board on. The other board is actually going to hold that down. It's actually in there now. The other board will hold that down and put it in place. Now, make your connector. You can see the white and the brown connectors in there. Make sure they're lined up and then push firmly so that they snap together. You want to make sure both sides are pressed, because there's two of them. And push it firmly. Make sure it's all the way down. You got to make that connection or your controller won't work. If you bend your pins, your controller won't work. So be very careful with that. Okay, so our next process is going to be a simple one. We're going to put the back shell back on. Let's go ahead and fix these wires, put them back where they belong. Let's do all this first before we mess with the shells. I still got to put my other button on. I forgot about that. I got the bumper just sitting over there, and the guides ram. Okay, so we're going to feed that back down where it was, line it in that groove. Like I said, mine are disconnected, so it doesn't really matter. But I do want them out of the way, and I will be doing a soldering video later. Just make sure you go check out the page and locate that, because you will need it if you accidentally break these. You can actually get a cheap solder online to do this stuff with. Just make sure you know what you're doing with soldering before you start messing with the soldering iron. If you're a young child, have a parent or somebody assist you with it. Do some research on it. Locate how to solder. Process, tinning your tips, the purpose of flux. Educate yourself. There's nothing wrong with education. ModFreakz encourages education. I mean, it's important. Yeah, we love gaming. Everybody loves gaming. But man, to learn stuff that you never knew before, it's amazing. Okay, so we're going to get this on here and tape that back down. We're going to go ahead and throw these bumpers in here, these rumble packs, even though they're not going to be connected in this video. That way I don't lose them later and I'm searching around, going through stuff looking for them. So I'm just going to put them in here real quick. You just tape them back down. If your tape's no good, you can reuse the same tape, or you can just grab some regular Scotch tape and tape it down. That's all this is anyways. Like I said, my wires are disconnected. Just ignore that. I've got a lot of soldering to do. Okay, so here's an interesting part. These rubber pieces, the part with the groove goes towards your buttons. It goes towards your bumper buttons, and the flat part goes towards your new buttons. So make sure that groove is facing the button, and then just slide it down in. That's all you got to do, is just push it and slide it in that hole there. Now you have to put some pressure on it to get it in there, but it's easier to put it on after you screw this board down than it is to sit there with it upside down, and every time you try to put the board on, it falls out. Okay, now this, your sync button. There's actually a little groove right next to your Xbox button. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not. I hope you can. This lip will go inside that, and it kind of got to balance it in there. Now, other people have their own technique of putting the bumper back on. There you go. It's balancing there. It's sitting there. I have my own technique as well. Like a lot of people will take and put these on the bumper on and then the guide surround after. I do it all at once. To do it all at once, I'm holding these triggers down. I'm going to take and make sure that the charger port, you start from that end first. Make sure that it's tilted at an angle. It's tilted at an angle. You want to make sure that these black parts go inside the grooves of your bumpers. And then there's another little plastic part down there that you have to make sure it goes underneath this lip of the controller. So it's a bunch of stuff you've got to do. So there's a technique that I've been doing, which I just kind of got to play with a little bit. Pull it back a little bit with my hands, push it down, and make it go. I'll push on the guides around a little bit. I'll push down on the guides around to get it to go where I want it. And then I'll push in with my fingers to get it to fall in place. Let's see if I can get this to line up. There we go. That's where it needs to be. That's where it needs to be. And now, just pop right on. Just went right on. Now when I'm pushing on these, it feels like they're not clicking right. They're just not doing it. It doesn't feel like a button. It will. Once you get the shell on, it will. So don't be scared of that. Go ahead and install your shell. Make sure it's working correctly. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put the screws back in on this board here. Let's do that real quick. So y'all are watching this video, you should have screamed real loud, "Hey, you forgot those screws." Put those screws back in there where they belong, in the corners by the rumble packs. Kind of glad that I saw that. Would have hated putting that shell all the way back together and having to take it back apart just to put those two screws in. Okay. Put our thumbstick grips back on. Simple process, 1, 2, and 3. You know, just smack it in there. Line it up and push it down. That's all it is. And that's in. All right. Okay, your battery compartment. There are 2 prongs here. You want to make sure those go in correctly. Try not to force it and bend these or break them off your board. It could be very bad. I've already bent this one a little bit, but I am going to get it to line up. That's the first thing I'm going to put in is the battery. I'll make sure it goes in there and lines up right. I'm probably take a screwdriver with my finger and just push it over a little bit. Okay, then we're just going to push that down in. Just like that. Once you get the back on, push your triggers, please. It's going to snap them down. Now these are seeming to working. Alright, so we'll get our faceplate on. Just slides on the top, on the front. We'll push it firmly. Something not lined up, there we go. Make sure everything lines up, make sure everything is fitting. Please. It only takes a second to look at this and find one little thing that's off by a hair, and then your controller just does not want to get back together right. T8 screwdriver. Close this up with the T8. Middle screw first. Logically, because it's the center screw and it's going to hold it better. You want to put the end on over here, and then this is sliding around on the opposite side. Okay, then we'll put the rest of these screws in. Go ahead and put my side rails back in. Just line them up, push them down. Simple as that. Snap it back down, then you get your battery compartment, put your battery pack in there, your batteries. Close that up. Now, the most important part of this process is to test your controller. You want to make sure that your buttons are pressing and that everything is working properly. Plug it in, try to use it, try to play with it. Make sure your solders are good once you get that part down. Okay, you have to give me time to get the soldering video done, but it will be done soon. I promise you I will have it up. Just check our website or Facebook or YouTube. Okay, these buttons seem to be all pressing fine. Nothing wrong with it. And it actually doesn't look too bad for a white and black controller. Okay, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please follow us and like and share this to all your friends. Let them know how this is done. Let them know how something so simple can be changed to look great. If you have any questions, or maybe you have some tips of your own that you can help us with, teach us how to do some things, please feel free to leave a comment, either on Facebook or YouTube. Contact us, send us a message. We always communicate with our customers and our followers. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and you all have a wonderful, great gaming day. Thank you.